Hello, everyone. Let me know how the audio is and if the echo isn't too bad. If it's bad, I can't really do anything about it, unfortunately. But I'll explain why in a second. So I'm just going to wait until someone tells me if we are live and if the audio is working. It's always the awkward couple of moments at the start of the stream that go like this. So, hello to Sayers Creed. Glad to have you here. Hello from Holland. Maya says we're good. All right. So, and Civilized Duxie. Whoa, that's a crazy name, but like in a good way. I approve. So, okay, we're good to go. The reason yeah, okay. So the reason why I am coming to you from my college study room is because the Wi-Fi in my apartment broke down and it's probably not going to be fixed until sometime tomorrow or later in the week, hopefully. So yeah, I am in my college study room. I booked it just for this. And I really hope that none of my friends walk past me. There's like a huge window over there. And my friends are around, so it would be really awkward. But that is fine. That is so fine. Okay. So. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Wera and Reverie. Today we will be reminiscing on all the stuff that happened in August, all the stuff that happened in September, and a general plan for what I have planned for October, because October, let me tell you, is going to be a very active month, I would say. So yeah. Oh, someone says they'll think you're recording a video for class. Hopefully. Also, another thing, walking into the library looking like a clown was really an experience. And what I mean by that is the makeup on like video looks normal, but it does not look normal in real life. I look like a clown. This is like way too much. But when you put on like normal amounts of makeup, the camera doesn't pick it up. So you just look stupid. So I need to put on more, but that means that the people that see me in real life think that I look stupid. I look stupid. Do you plan to use the whiteboard? I would love to. However, I do not have a whiteboard or like a whiteboard marker. So I will not be disclosing this for my privacy and safety. But yeah, all right. So in this, okay, that comment is so unnecessary. Okay, anyway, so we are going to start off, as we always do, taking a look back. Hi, Adrian, and thank you for the super chat, but I will not be answering the question. I believe that's private. Okay. Oh my God, so weird. People are walking. Okay, so we're going to first talk over the books that I read, what I thought about them, and then we're going to talk about the movies, and then we're going to talk about the plans for this month. Okay, so I am not sure if I talked about this book in the previous Wera and Reverie. I know that I mentioned it at least a little bit, but I think I was still reading at the moment, and guys, let me tell you, it's not very good. I'm really losing faith in V.E. Schwab, I have to say, because I did not enjoy the ending of, what was her other, The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. I really did not enjoy it. I thought it was really long and I didn't think it had any like interesting thesis or anything. And then the ending kind of undermines any like interesting aspect about it, to be honest. So I just wasn't really a very big fan of that. But that's fine. Now we have Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil. And I don't know if any of you read this one, but once again, I don't know. It is long. It didn't feel as long, but it just didn't have a point. There was vibes. I liked the vibes. Oh, hello, Serkan. But yeah, it was long and without a point. So I don't know if I'll be checking out her next book. Yeah, that's kind of my perspective right now. So then the next thing that I finished was Dubliners by James Joyce, and I really, really loved this. Oh my God, yeah, my hair got sprayed with water. That was so funny. That was on the last Wera in Reverie. So Dubliners aims to paint a picture of Dublin as a city in paralysis, kind of, or not as a city in paralysis, but as the people in Dublin being in paralysis. Because of many different things, their approach to the British occupation, the Celtic revival, the relationship between the Catholic and the Protestant church, etc., etc. And so, and the way it does it is it aims to go through the different stages of life. So from like adolescence or childhood to adolescence to adulthood, and then it goes to public life. And then the coda is this story called The Dead. And it's probably the most famous story, I think. So anyway, I do think that these are, I think this is a really good collection because it paints a really nice mosaic with each story building on a previous one, at least thematically. My standout doubts would be, I really love Eveline. I keep going back to Eveline, but Counterparts is really good as well. There was one that's like a letter or something. I don't remember, but check out my Goodreads review because I like list my favorite ones there. But yeah, Dubliners is really good. And also I know some people might be worried because, oh, it's James Joyce, whatever. He's kind of, famous for being difficult to read, but this is actually very, very readable. And it's, yeah, you can, oh my God, Ananas is here. Hello. Yeah, so do not be worried when reading this book. It is very, very readable and surprisingly contemporary in its prose as well. So highly recommend. Then I read Blue Sisters by Coco Mellors. I was obsessed with her debut book, Cleopatra and Frankenstein. I just thought that it was the way it touched on so many different aspects of life in ways that, oh my gosh, Brian from BellTube. Guys, Brian is incredible. Go subscribe to him. But yeah, so Cleopatra and Frankenstein was a book that really, really spoke to me. I gave it 4.5 out of 5 stars. And as longtime viewers of the channel know, I am a very harsh grader. So I've only had one book that's been 4.5 stars for me this year. And I've had no books that have been anything above that. So I'm a harsh grader. And Coco Mellors' debut, Cleopatra and Frankenstein, was great. So I was excited to try out Blue Sisters. I am in a reading slump still after last year's Farseer trilogy. I'm sorry, like, you guys hate to hear it, but it's true. And I haven't really recovered from that. And so there are so many people. Okay. Okay. But yeah, so I really had high hopes for this, and unfortunately, like, it's a good book, but here's the thing: everyone was saying, "Oh, this is even better than Cleopatra and Frankenstein. It's even better." But the thing is, it's not. Cleopatra and Frankenstein is so good because it takes the central relationship between Cleo and Frank, and it deals with, I don't know, feelings of inadequacy, the different reasons you might want to be in a relationship, whether it's love, whether it's for status, whether it's for a green card, and then the perception of a relationship and how that can affect it. But it's not just about that. It's also about addiction. It's about relationships, not just the romantic one, but every other chapter. So you have a chapter from Cleo and a chapter from Frank, and we will alternate between that. But then in between those Cleo and Frank chapters, you get a chapter from someone who is either like a best friend or a sibling or something like that. And it really paints out this greater idea that Coco Melors is trying to get at. And unfortunately, in Blue Sisters, I just didn't really think she did as good a job of making a compelling plot or compelling characters. Again, I still really liked this. I rated it, I think, 3.75 or 3.5 out of 10. But I don't know. I don't know why people say that it's better than Cleo and Frank, because it's just not. So you have these 4 sisters, and unfortunately, one of them died recently. And this book follows, and this book starts when the oldest sister, Avery, gets a message that basically they're going to, like, the parents are selling the apartment that sister lived in and stuff, and it's an apartment that all the sisters have grown up in, and now they're kind of scattered across the world. And so slowly the 3 remaining sisters have to like make their way back, I guess, to that apartment where their sister died and deal with grief and everything. But I don't know, it wasn't, as someone who has experienced grief and like fairly recently, I just didn't really think it resonated like it could have. I think the sisterly aspect was done better. There were arguments. Arguments between the sisters that I thought were done very well. The way you can just get at someone that you love so much, but you have so much animosity towards as well sometimes. So I thought that was captured very well, but I don't know. There was really something missing for me. So yeah, all right. Before we move on to the next question, Serkan, thank you so much for being such a constant supporter of the channel. It really, 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 really means a lot to a broke college student. Thank you. Okay, great to see you with Vera. Thank you. I'm taking notes as I listen. It's always a pleasure to hear you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for always being here. You add a lot to the community, I think. All right, so then moving on. Thanks, Yvonne. So then moving on to the next book, but this was an essay actually that I read. So it's this essay called Visual Pleasure and Narrative Cinema. And okay, I read this actually for a video that I never ended up making, but okay, so I chickened out of making this video because I was scared of the audience that it would create or attract potentially. And I was kind of worried as well that I wouldn't handle the topic with as much care as it required maybe. So I just kind of chickened out. But I still read the essay and it was very interesting. So the the video idea, if you're interested, was, no, bear with me. So we all remember probably the release of the Sabrina Carpenter Man's Best Friend cover where she's like kneeling and a man is like fondling her hair or whatever. And it's, people really said that it's, like anti-feminist or whatever. And then we had the 2-punch of Sydney Sweeney selling the bathwater, and then, or the bathwater gel or soap or whatever. And then we had her jeans commercial, and that kind of, and there was just a lot of, between those two like figures, there was a lot of conversation about women appealing to men, and like, when is it valid, when is it not valid? And there was a lot of outrage. Some of it I think was, I don't know, justified to some extent. Like, the questioning of all that, I guess, was justified, but some of it was just really blown out of proportion. But then I thought of myself and I was like, this is actually, and I thought of a video that my friend Joanna made, actually. Joanna Reads, you guys should search her up. She's great. And it was basically, she and Murphy Napier were talking about like them as women reading books that are usually marketed for men. Like, why are they interested in those sorts of books? And and then I thought of myself and the fact that my audience is 90 to 95% male. And I really started, connecting those dots, thinking, is it really wrong to appeal to the male gaze? And what does that actually mean? And so I was going to make a whole video essay about like, where does the term male gaze come from, how that applies to the Sabrina Carpenter man's best friend situation, to the Sydney Sweeney jeans / bathwater situation, and then how that applies to the women on BookTube that do like read more like male-centered books, or books that like are marketed to men more so. And I mean, even today, I got a comment being like, "Oh, you're such a pick-me for liking The Witcher," blah blah blah, and like. So again, my question stands: is it wrong to appeal to the male gaze? And so I decided to. Okay, that was the question I was going to open the video with. Okay, because I don't want this to be clipped and taken out of context. That was the idea that started the planning process for the video. And it was supposed to be like an exploration of that question in terms of, like the BookTube space. Anyway, so, okay. This is the essay that coined the term male gaze. Okay, and so that's why I read it. I wanted to go back to the source and see what was this term, how was it used originally, and then kind of compare that to how people use it colloquially today. But again, I chickened out of making the video because I was kind of worried about the audience that might attract. So yeah, but I did read the essay, and the essay is really good and really readable. So if you're interested, then definitely give it a try. Okay, I think that's oh yeah. Okay, and so right now, the book that I'm like most actively reading, I guess, is Catabasis by R.F. Kuang. Unfortunately, I'm not loving it. This is my first R.F. Kuang book, and I just... Are you streaming from a classroom? Yeah, so I already explained, the Wi-Fi in my apartment is gone, and so I had to go to my college study room. So yeah, pretty embarrassing, but that's fine. I missed a super chat. Oh, thank you, Maya. See, thank you, Maya. Okay. Adrian, would you be interested in reviewing manga? I feel like you'd like Berserk and Chainsaw Man. I feel like manga is a little bit out of my wheelhouse right now, and to be honest, it's not something that ever really interested me, other than one anime. This is not manga. Maybe it's also manga, and I will pronounce it wrong. And I watched it when I was like in middle school, so my memory might not be the best, but it was something like Danganronpa. Maybe it was like a murder mystery. If I'd actually love to watch it again. So if anyone can like knows what I'm talking about and can write it in the comments, please let me know. But I think there was like a game as well. It was about these people that go to this academy, I think, and then it gets like taken over by this yes this sounds this sounds accurate. But it's like this academy, and like they get like taken over by this like evil bear, I think, and then there's like people being offed, and like you have to figure out, and they're like figuring out like who it is, I think. I don't remember, I do not remember, but it was good. But yeah, I don't think, going back to the super chat, I don't think that at the moment it's kind of in my wheelhouse, but who knows? Maybe one day. Oh, I do like Saga, but that's a comic graphic novel. I don't know, and I need to reread Saga because Saga was really good. Okay. Catabasis, thank you so much for the donation as well, and thanks Maya for telling me that I missed a super chat. Oh right, so okay, I'm not vibing with it. I'm really struggling to find a reason to care. It's about these two students, and their professor has died. And so now they are journeying into the underworld to get him back, basically, because they're really on that academic grind and they want to get like letters of recommendation from him. And I just like, it's a pretty bizarre concept, but you know what? I was starting college back up, and you know, dark academia. Maybe it could like motivate me or something. But I don't know though. I don't know. The characters seem to be very two-dimensional, and it's just not. But I don't know. I had this idea earlier in the year of like reading TikTok's like favorite books of the year, and this is the last book that I'm kind of reading for that. But at this point, I don't know if I'm going to make that video, but I feel like I'm just going to push through this book anyway, because maybe it gets better, you know, maybe it gets better. Okie dokie. So now moving on to the movies that I watched. Guys, the movies have been actually incredible. I've been loving the movies that I've been watching. So the first one, Full Metal Jacket. That was me the entire time. It's so good. Okay, so this is a Stanley Kubrick film, and the same guy that directed The Shining. And before this, I think The Shining was the only Kubrick film that I've ever watched. And oh my God, I love this movie. It was incredible. So it's divided into two parts. And the first part is more so about the training of like the Marines and whatnot. And we follow, I don't remember the names of the characters, but it's the actor who plays the like main guy that gets bullied and stuff is Vincent D'Onofrio, I think. And he also plays, I found out later that he played, oh my God, what's his name? From that Marvel character. He played Kingpin. He played Kingpin in Daredevil. And so that was really shocking. But yeah, so so the first half is all about training. And then the second half is them in the war. Which war was it? Was it Vietnam? I don't think it was Vietnam. Maybe it was. Yes, it was Vietnam. Of course, Me Love You Long Time is in this movie. Of course, it was in Vietnam. Sorry, I'm. Okay. Yes. So sorry. Of course, it's Vietnam. So and we take a more like journalistic. So we follow a character who is also training in that first part, but now he's part of like these in-action journalists sort of that go and fight in the war, but like their main job is to get photos and stuff. And a lot of people say that that second half is worse, but The janitor is oh no wait. The janitor wondering why this girl is talking alone in a classroom. Yeah, it's pretty embarrassing. But anyway. But yeah, no, I think both are incredible, like both halves, and together it's great. If you are in the mood for a good war movie, this is a great war movie. So watch it. And it has great quotes and it's very visceral, but not as visceral as Apocalypse Now. This is the best movie that I've watched this year. I cannot believe that it's like 3 hours, I want to say long. Well, actually, I can, but it makes sense that it's so long because it is a journey and it feels like a journey. And when you arrive at the final destination, if you will, it feels so. There's just so much that happened and so much that was lost and so much buildup. And it just all feels like the tension. I was stressing and also wait, there is more than one version? Guys, can you tell me? I don't know which version I saw. I saw the version on Amazon Prime. Write me in the comments what the difference is between the versions and I'll let you know what I saw. But so also in my Letterboxd review, I said, thank God for Polish people like Joseph Conrad for writing Heart of Darkness because it was like really long. I don't know if it was like 3 hours or longer than 3 hours. It was really, really long, but it was incredible. I would not cut anything. Yeah, Heart of Darkness. So by Joseph Conrad, a famous Polish writer who wrote a book that in his third language, because Joseph Conrad was his second language was French, and then his third language was English. So, so yeah, thank God for Polish people. Am I right? Also in Warsaw, on Nowy Świat, which is like one of like the main streets, I guess. There is Joseph Conrad's house, and whenever I pass it, I'm always like praying at the shrine because it's just incredible. It's like history manifesting itself before your eyes. Like Joseph Conrad lived there. Crazy. Yeah, Marlon Brando in the end was incredible. Just I knew so little about this movie. I just knew that there was something to do with like a trip up the Nile, but also there are parts of it that are really funny, but some parts are so sinister and it's just so psychedelic, I feel like at the start and at the end. And all the peripheral characters are incredible as well. And it's just it's one of the most transportative movies that I have ever seen. I was there. I watched it all in one go. And yeah, it's one of the best movies that I have ever seen. Okay, well, yeah, I watched like the long version, the 3-hour version. So yeah, I love the smell of napalm in the morning. Yeah, that entire scene and the surfboard stuff. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Oh, maybe I did watch. I don't know. It was really long. It was the version on Amazon Prime. So yeah. Okay. I can get back to you in the next Wera and Reverie anyway. Okay. Then, okay, you guys are going to hate me. So then I watched The Death Becomes Her. So okay, wait, no, going back to this because I saw this comment. The whole French settler part kind of sucks, IMO, but the rest is fantastic. Yeah, I was so confused by that. It was just so I don't want to say unnecessary because like it was necessary, you know, like the drugs of it and whatever, but I wasn't expecting how explicit and like sexual things we're gonna get. So yeah, it was kind of wild. But okay. So Death Becomes Her. I really like this movie. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. So I watched it because I was bored in the evening. I wasn't really bored in the evening. But oh, what? Maya, I didn't know. I'm sorry. We can watch other movies together, I promise. But so you aren't missing much by not watching it. Just okay, so listen. I love the Sabrina Carpenter music video for Taste, and that is heavily inspired by Death Becomes Her. And I'm so sorry, but Sabrina did better. Serkan. It was a pleasure to see you, Vera. I've gathered my notes. Now it's time to set forth like a witcher wandering into the night. That's very poetic. Good night, Vera, Maya, and the chat. This is a heart again. Good night. Oh my gosh. And Ivan too. Good night, Serkan sweetie. Yeah, guys, let's not forget that we have 2 moderators. Can we have some ib appreciations, please, in the chat? Okay, especially since I once again failed to tell my moderators that we're going to do this. So sorry. My life has been very hectic right now. But yeah, okay. So full house tonight, indeed. Yeah, I don't know. Sabrina Carpenter did it better. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if that's such a Gen Z thing to say, but I was expecting more. This movie was like way too bizarre for me. The way it was filmed was cool. I don't know. It wasn't really fun. Please tell me Rats is canceled. Please tell me Rats is canceled. I don't even want to think about that. Okay. So next, Borat. Okay, I watched this with my roommates and it was incredible. I'm so sorry to any people from Kazakhstan watching. I'm sure this is like very offensive to you. What is coming out? Shut up. No, it's not. That is not true. Are you telling me Rats is actually happening? Can we I thought it was canceled. That's not real. That is not real. Oh my god, what the hell? Bro, you're supposed to be dead. We have a celebrity in the chat. Rats is real? Redanian intelligence follows me, by the way. Yeah. The fuck? I have to laugh because if I don't laugh, I will cry. Okay. Anyway, Borat. Yeah, so we had a wine night with the roommates and watched this, and yeah, I am so sorry to any people from Kazakhstan. Like, if my country was done this dirty, I'd be pissed. But yeah, the movie, it's funny. My wife, yeah, it's funny, okay, and I cannot believe that they got Pamela Anderson to act in this movie. I cannot believe that. It was crazy. Okay, next. So then my roommates had another wine night and we watched Unknown Number. This was like popular on Netflix for a week or two. And this is kind of wild. It's not really great, let's say. And we all had conflicting opinions. But our ultimate opinion was, oh, hi, Kevin. We need to shout out Kevin. Our ultimate opinion was that for this one, the wine was necessary for enjoyment. And also, it was really effed up. It was really effed up. So I don't know if I recommend that you watch it, but I guess if you have nothing better to do, then like, yeah, you'll get a couple of like WTF moments. This movie, to be honest, even looking at the poster gives me chills. I need to drink some of my matcha for this. This movie, I watched it maybe 2 weeks ago by now. I cannot sleep. I have I have to have a light on, whether it's like my bathroom light and the door ajar or like a nightstand light on. I can't sleep. I'm sorry. The people in me next to the like, whoa, what? Whoa. The people in the theater next to me. Okay. Sorry, I was just um the comments, that is a weird comment. Okay. Um so the people next to me in the theater actually left after half an hour, and to be honest, I was this close from leaving as well, but I was just going like this because I yeah, it was terrifying. It was terrifying. I did make a joke at the start that, oh, look, the kids are Naruto running. But now when I see this poster, I get chills. I get chills. So this movie is about these kids that, yeah, Joshua Butler says Zach Kreger is an amazing director. Yeah, if that's the director for this movie, then I agree. Like, the direction is incredible. I think this movie was really, really well done. And there is like a comedic aspect to it, which I didn't see coming and that some people don't really like. But I actually didn't mind it. God, it was so embarrassing. There's so many people. So I actually didn't mind the funny bits because they helped me not be as terrified about the terrifying bits. And there were just so many scares that petrified me, and it was just so over the top graphic. I tried to desensitize myself by watching video reviews of it and stuff. It didn't work. I still can't sleep. So yeah, but it's a great movie. So you should watch it. I highly recommend. But okay, let me put it this way. Today, when I walked into the kitchen and I didn't realize that my roommate was there, I saw him kind of like peek out like from behind a cupboard, and I screamed and I fell to the floor because of this movie. Okay, I'm still traumatized because of this movie. So if you want to be traumatized, go ahead and watch it. If you don't want to be traumatized, then don't. Genuinely scariest movie I've ever seen. Okay, and now I'm gonna like get hated on. I'm sorry for what I'm about to say. So one battle after another is, in my opinion, an empty movie. I am sorry, but that is my opinion. In my opinion, okay, no, again. So the idea was that PTA was inspired by this Pynchon novel, I believe, that was talking about the kids of these like 60s revolutionaries that then, they've grown up, they're in the 80s. And so now the kids are kind of dealing with the consequences, I guess, of what their parents did, and like the ideas, how they change between generations and stuff like that. And he said, okay, so what if we take this into like a more like modern situation? But the problem is, that's a great idea, but he does nothing with it. And I'm sorry to say that because I know a lot of people are obsessed with this movie. I don't get it. There's a lot of people are also saying, oh, it's so funny. It's so funny. It's not. There were two lines. There was like one line. There was one line that made, by the way, I was in a packed theater opening weekend. There's one line towards the end where a character calls another character a semen demon, and my entire theater like laughed. There's another scene where a character is just like gets some bad news and then finds out, yeah, so he finds out bad news, but he's like really high and he's like, oh man, I'm way too high for this. And then he takes another drag. And so there was like a little chuckle for that, I guess, but this really wasn't as funny as people said it would be. It's long as well, and you feel how long it is. Like, and it doesn't feel like it's earned to be that long, in my opinion. Sensei, the character Sensei, was great. So shout out to Sensei, big up for Sensei. But oh, and the acting, the girl Chase Infinity, she plays Willa. Who she's on the cover. This was her like first big role, and great. Like very like I want her to get more acting jobs because she was incredible. The standout of the movie. Oh, and Sean Penn as well. But so like the acting was great, but it was really wasted on this movie because without spoiling anything, you have no idea what PTA is trying to get at. I'm sorry, you have no idea. Is he saying like there's just no thesis. You don't know whether he's saying like, oh, revolutionaries like good or bad, because like on one hand they're like, I don't know, doing things that like maybe might be good, or like standing up for like human rights or whatever, but on the other hand they're like blowing up banks and stuff. And then on the other hand, then later on you have like another situation where, I don't know, a person, I guess, who's like more aligned with that perspective is a person that kind of throws other characters under a bus. So you're kind of like, what is he getting at? It just feels like he's just throwing in like different political beats, just kind of like to check boxes, but he's not really saying anything about anything. But okay, that's fine. I really think that not every single movie needs to have a thesis. That's fine. But if you don't have a thesis, at least ask interesting questions. And I don't even know what the questions are that he wanted us to be like asking ourselves, you know? There's also like this very satirical approach to like the bad guys, if you can call them. Well, they are bad guys, but there's also a very yeah, but they're like this over the top, very, very satirical group of, I won't say it just like because spoilers, but if you wanted to make a movie about like that topic that is represented by that group, why make it so like over the top and satirical? Like I really felt like there were so many disconnected threads. And again, I don't know what the thesis was. Anyway, moving on. It's fine if a movie doesn't have a thesis. That is so fine. However, if it doesn't have a thesis, at least ask interesting questions. And the only question I'm asking myself is, what questions is this movie asking? Because I genuinely do not know. I do not know. Yeah. The car chase scene was filmed very well, though. I did like that scene. So, okay. So Adrian says, I felt the message was we're individuals, not ideologies. Right. But I don't think that holds up with the like satirical nature of like so many different, well, yeah, the bad guys first and foremost, but also like we never really learn anything about the individuals of the revolutionary group of the French 75. So they're like the opening of the movie is like a longer, I guess, okay, sorry, I need to block someone. Okay. I will not be tolerating any sort of slurs in the comments. You will be blocked. Okay. As I was saying, I don't really know what we don't get to ever really know these people as individuals. So I don't know. I don't feel like this kind of holds up, but I don't know. Maybe I need to rewatch it then. And again, I'm in the minority and I want more movies like this to be made. So go support it, go watch it in the theater and make your own opinion, if only to be part of the conversation. So, yeah. All right, next. Oh my god. Okay. So then a couple of days ago, I decided to watch all of Popstar Academy because my Instagram kept being flooded with Cat's Eye, and I was like, you know what? Fine, I'll watch it. Especially since I like a few songs made by Adela, who was part of this project. But then, like, she wasn't selected for the final group. Oh, Maya says I missed a donation. Sorry, I'm really bad today. So from Adrian, thank you, Adrian, again. Oh no, that's not. We already this one. Sorry, no, The Advocate. Sorry. Hey Vera, hope you're having a good weekend. Sorry to hear about your T-Swift videos. Turns out the YouTube algorithm really does suck. I will touch on this actually in a second, if that's okay. So thank you so much for the donation, and I'll go back to this in a second. Okay, so okay. Oh, sorry, it was Ivan this time that let me know. Thank you. So yeah, so Cat's Eye. It was fine. It was like very interesting to see the behind the scenes like of the music industry, I guess. This was very exploitative, but yeah, it was an interesting watch, I guess. I don't know if I'd like super highly recommend it, but yeah. Okay. So then, okay, we have to talk about the Taylor Swift of it all. So addressing the super chat from The Advocate. Yeah, so I had this idea since I really want to get more female viewership. Don't get me wrong. I love my 95-ish% male audience. It really fluctuates. Within the 90s, a couple of months ago, it was 98%. And like, don't get me wrong, I am so grateful for every single viewer, but I do wish that I'd have a larger female audience, and like that is something that I have been trying to do since the start of this channel, and something that I haven't really succeeded in accomplishing, unfortunately. And I'm not really always sure why, because even other channels that cover similar topics that I do usually have like at least an 80-20 split or a 70-30% split. Some even have a 60-40% split. And I'd love that, but I have a 95-5% split. So I don't really know why that is. But anyway, so obviously the new Taylor Swift album came out on Friday, and I love Taylor Swift. I've been a fan since Red came out in 2012. And I really think that there are so many interesting themes within her albums that you can draw upon to give book recommendations. But I find that a lot of recommendations that are given are quite superficial, like, oh, an image in this album for like Reputation is a snake, and therefore I will recommend a book with a snake like on the cover. And I just really wanted to do something a bit more substantial than that, I guess. Again, no hate to that, like power to like those people, but yeah. And so I wanted to do like a little analysis and then recommend books based on these analyses, hopefully, because I really like the albums and I was really hyped for this album, and I was hoping that if I do like an every single day like countdown sort of thing, then maybe finally I'd get some more female viewership. And there were maybe like 6 people that commented on each video and seemed to really like it and appreciate it. And I'm so thankful that you did, because it really kept me going. But I was just so sleep deprived. I had to be in the hospital every day for 8:30. And then I'd come home, I don't know whether it was like at 4 or 5, and then I just sit down, record, edit, boom. Like it was really intense, and I was losing subscribers, and I just kind of resigned myself to this fate of, you know what, I can't be putting in this much effort and um, getting like negative return. So, you know what, but that's fine. Like, you can't always talk about everything that you're passionate about online, and that's fine. You know, I have other things that people actually want to hear my opinions on. So that's okay. And that's what I have Vera and Reverie for. So I hope that answers the question. And well, there wasn't really a question, but yeah, thanks, Advocate, for the super chat. Okay, so okay, so I went. So, but let's talk about the Taylor Swift album and the official release party of A Showgirl. So I'm sorry to say, unfortunately, but I don't think the album is very good. Notice that I didn't say that album is bad. It's not a bad album, but it's not a good album. There's no song on here that I'd say is a great Taylor Swift song. Okay? I think Elizabeth Taylor comes closest to it, but even Elizabeth Taylor has a clunky, like thrown in lyric there. So I do think, in my personal opinion, that this is the worst Taylor Swift album. But again, like, the bar has been so high for so long. And, you know, at some point, like, she's been making music for 20 years now. 20 years, that's a long time. And this is her 12th album. So, you know, at some point, you're going to get something probably that just doesn't click with you. And this just doesn't click with me. But that being said, I do not think that the writing is up to par with what we have come to expect from her. And that is a little bit disappointing. That being said, going into the movie showing, I think the music video that's coming out in a couple of hours is a great music video. I actually think it's one of her best music videos, if not her best music video. I really need to think about that. I don't want to commit to it, but yeah, the visual is going to be good. That being said, again, the disconnect between the concept of the life of a showgirl, I think, and what is actually on the album is quite large, I think, because it's not really played with much at all. So yeah, it's just not up to par. I had quite the faux pas when it released, because when I first heard the songs, again, I woke up at 5 a.m. because that's when it released for me in Ireland. And so I listened to the songs, and I was really hitting a drought. And then I heard the song Wood, and I had no idea what she was saying. I was just bopping around thinking, this is exactly what I wanted. This is incredible. Song of the year. And so I started posting it everywhere. Then again, I went to the hospital. I came back home around maybe 4:30, and then I listened to the album again, and I realized what she was saying. And I very promptly I very promptly deleted my stories, because that was embarrassing. I cannot believe that I posted that. So yeah, I still maintain that it's very, like, you know, fun to bop around to, but um yeah. Yeah, I just don't want to talk about it. I'm so embarrassed. I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe that I'm posting this and being like, this is incredible. Anyway, 2 seconds. I just need to do a few things. Okay. That being said, is there anything else to be said? Oh yeah, the track 5, not very good. Yeah, I don't know. I just wish, I just wish that the visuals and the songs themselves were more aligned. That being said, and oh, another thing actually. So I went to the theater with my friend, and the theater was packed. Okay, packed again. And you know that something is off when she does like this very emotional like intro to a song, whatever, the emotional song of the album or whatever. And then the song starts playing and the theater erupts in laughter. Like, and also same because she's saying these things like so seriously, but it's just not, it's so unserious. And I think if you have an entire theater like laughing at lyrics that are supposed to be profound, then I think something was off, you know? Again, I think Elizabeth Taylor is a good song. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it will grow on me, but again, the writing quality is just subpar compared to what we have come to expect from a Taylor Swift album. But that is okay. That is okay. The other albums still exist, so we can always go touch grass, I guess, with and listen to the songs that we do like, and that is okay. All right. I'm still a Swiftie, hand heart. Okay, next. Okay, and then I also watched The Wolf of Wall Street, and low-key, this was also a horror movie because the idea of that this is like that this happened in real life and that men like this exist is actually my biggest nightmare. Like getting married to one of them is my biggest nightmare. And the fact that the only thing that I knew about this movie going in is that a lot of like, it's like a meme on the internet that like finance bros idolize this movie and want to be like the Wolf of Wall Street. That is terrifying. That is genuinely terrifying to me. I'm never, ever, 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 ever dating a finance bro who idolizes this movie because that is just terrifying to me. But the movie was great. The movie was really funny, and yeah, Jordan Belfort. He also. I was really shocked when he appeared at the end of the film. I thought that was like pretty cool. But yeah, so okay. Oh my god. Sorry, I need to put someone in timeout. Oh my god. Anyway, the movie was great. I really liked the way it was shot and like the narration I thought was great and stuff, but it just really made me very uncomfortable every single time that I remembered that it was like real. So yeah. Okie dokie. So next. So my plans for this month as of now. If you've been following the channel for a while now, you will know that plans change. And that's fine. But the plans as of right now is we are having a Witcher heavy month incoming. So we just had the release of Crossroads of Ravens. And Andrzej Sapkowski knows who I am. Can we just acknowledge that for 2 seconds, please? So that's crazy. But there is more Crossroads content coming, I guess. So I do have a version of Crossroads incoming to me, and I will be reviewing like that version of it. Andrzej Sapkowski, because I'm a fan of the music Taylor Swift creates, but like I do not know the person, obviously, and I would rather just have that music mean what it means to me. But with Andrzej Sapkowski, like I would love to have an interview with him. So if you know anyone on the team, if you want to like write some emails, do some posts, please do. Because I just think there's so many different aspects to The Witcher and so many questions that I'd love to ask him that I didn't get the chance to. And yeah, so definitely with Andrzej Sapkowski, I think. Okay, so anyway, so I have a version of Crossroads coming, and so I'll like give you my honest review of like how I think they did, I guess. And then I have another fun project that I got to work on that I want to show you the behind the scenes of. And I think if I'm able to make that video, I think you guys will really be gagged. So I really hope that I can share it. But I do think that video is one that I'll have to get accepted. Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to contact one of my friends to see like what they think. But I really do want to show you the behind the scenes of a very cool project that I got to work on. Yes, it is Witcher related, and you will be gagged. Like you will be gagged because I was gagged. So you will be gagged. And then, as we all know, the Witcher 4 season 4 is coming at the end of October, and apparently, allegedly, there's going to be a Rats TV show. I didn't know that, but now I do. Anyway, so that means that there will be a lot of Witcher discussion and content coming. One of the first videos that I ever wanted to make on the channel and that I recorded when I had a false start in the summer of 2023, I never published it. But hey, if you want to ask a question, like maybe there's like a nicer or more respectful way to ask it, but okay. Anyway, what was I saying? I don't know what I was saying. Anyway. Yeah, what was I saying? Oh yeah, so one of the first videos that I ever wanted to make and like that I like scripted was how I would have adapted season 1 of The Witcher Netflix. And I think that there are a few changes. Like I read through that script recently, and there are a few changes that I would make now. So like I will make them, but I want to re-record that video and kind of get feedback on this is how I would have done the first. This is how I would have done the first season. What do you guys think? And to be fair to myself, like my challenge was I have to adapt both anthologies like they decided to, and I only have 8 episodes to do that, just like they did. But I really think that the way I would have done it is better. But yeah, again, I'm very curious what you will think when that video goes live / if I make it, because you never know with time constraints. But that is my plan. There's also a question on why did I not comment on the trailer for season 4? So there were a bunch of people that sent me the link to that. Thank you. I saw it. I just don't think that there was anything to comment on. It was so... yeah, I don't think there was anything to comment on. So I'll reserve my comments for when season 4 comes out, unless like a main trailer comes out and it's egregious. So yeah. Okay, is that everything from the slideshow? I think that's everything from the slideshow. In that case, Other exciting news is the Witcher, what's it face? Plot summary video series has part 2 has reached 100,000 views. First of all, thank you so much. Second of all, that means that I'm starting work on part 3. I'm starting this week. Heads up, it's gonna take a while. Like, these videos take at least a month, if not a month and a half to make. The first part I think took 2 months. So, and then two and a half, yeah. When did I start? I started that video like end of October, I want to say, and then I finished it sometime in December. And then part 2, I want to say I started it halfway through January, and then I published it at the end of February. So those videos do take a while. They do, but I am going to be starting the script for that this week. So yay, it's coming. And hopefully it's going to be, and hopefully you guys will like it. So I think that's everything. I asked you guys whether you'd prefer me to do Crossroads or Blood of Elves, but you guys voted in a landslide for Blood of Elves. So we're continuing on in Blood of Elves. I think that just means we're gonna do like publishing order, and I hope you guys enjoy it because we are getting into the saga now. So yeah. All right. If you have any questions, maybe we can do like a couple minutes of questions, and then we're gonna say goodnight for tonight. It is quite late, and everyone needs a good night's sleep other than me, because I love drinking my matcha. So. Oh, Kevin, thank you. Kevin says, I appreciate the amount of work you must have put into the Taylor Swift series as well. Yeah, I was really sleep deprived. And to be honest, those videos are some of the videos that I'm most proud of on the channel. I think I made great arguments. I think the books I recommended were incredible as well. And like the way I tied each book to like the theme in the album that I was talking about was really good too. So yeah, I am very proud of those videos. Maybe one day I'll put out similar ones about the rest of the albums, but don't know. Daniel, it's only 4:13 here, but I suppose I can go take a nap. Naps are so good, guys. I really struggle when I come back from the hospital to not just take a nap, but then I remember how much Anki cards I have to do and pass med questions. Yeah, also, I'm so serious. My podcast of the year will probably be Zero to Finals. So, was Ireland your first choice for your studies? Yup. I don't really read a lot of romance novels, but I don't know. I guess I'd recommend just to start off with the classics, you know, Jane Austen. Alrighty. I don't think. Oh, yes. Have you ever read The Count of Monte Cristo? Yes, it's one of my favorite books of all time. It's incredible. The unabridged version. The unabridged version. This actually, I would like to see some specific videos about Witcher characters, like the Council of Sorcerers, for example. So the Avian Library did videos like that, and they're really good. And I honestly don't think that I could do better ones. So I'd say go check those out. I am thinking of doing like more video essays about The Witcher, but I think my focus right now will just be to finish off the Witcher Explained series, at least for the main like saga. So the last 5 books that I have remaining. Also, because I also need a refresher, especially on the back half of the series, because I reread the front half a lot, but the last three books, so Baptism of Fire, Tower of Swallows, and Lady of the Lake, I think I reread Baptism like 1.5 times, I want to say. And then, but Tower and Lady of the Lake, I only read once each. So, yeah, I definitely need a refresher there. Oh, I can't get to the new comments. Are you going to do one for Season of Storms? Yeah, but I'm going to go in release order by now, so I'll do that after I'm done with the main series. Okie dokie. I think that is all. Oh, if you were to vacation somewhere in Europe, where would be your first choice? Anywhere that I can go windsurfing. All right, guys, good night. I hope you enjoyed Vera and Reverie. And yeah, I'll see you next month or in 2 months. But I'll try to be I'll try to be on top of it. Last month I couldn't because as I was moving here, like that's when August turned into September, so it was quite the intense time. And hopefully next time I'll be coming to you from my like room and not from my college campus. Okay, guys, I hope you have an incredible night. Good night.